Hello there. They call me Mystery. Now, in revolutionary theory, there is an idea called permanent revolution. It is the idea that once revolution is achieved in one given place, that it must continue to be promoted and extended beyond the place in which it has occurred. Now, there are many different proponents of this idea, but there are also those who deny that this is possible. The deniers would say that once revolution is established in one place, it should really be concentrated and perfected there, with no diversion of resources anywhere else. The question is whether or not, if you're lucky enough to revolutionize, do you continue to spread the love and help others revolutionize too? Now, it seems like in a perfect world, you would want to help spread revolutions all over the globe as much as possible. But it is not always that simple. Now, let's look into this idea then.
My name is Mystery. For reasons unknown, I have been thrown back into the past almost 100 years, and this is my story.
When we consider revolution today, we look at it from the standpoint that it is not a struggle against a government or an evil regime in one country, but it is a class struggle facing the human race. The lower classes versus the upper classes, big money versus the masses, working class versus corporate overlords. Now, this way of thinking transcends borders. If you want to truly revolutionize, it goes beyond what is happening just in your country or your part of the world. Revolution is a global matter. Now, if you think about it in these terms, the idea of permanent revolution is unquestionably the ultimate goal. Now, let's look at the Russian Revolution and the Soviet Union as an example. When the revolution was forming, and the revolutionaries were vying for power over the provisional government that was running Russia at the time, they based their ideas and objectives on those formed by the international workers' movement. As a result, one of the main ideas of the Russian revolutionaries was to assist workers' revolutions in the most advanced industrial nations in Europe and hold Russia, in the meantime, in support. But workers' revolution never happened in the other European countries, and Russia was on its own as a revolutionary society in 20th century Europe. Given the world wars and the extreme opposition to communism which ensued, led of course by the US and the Western Allies, the Soviet Union was in an even increasingly compromised position. It was basically the Soviet Union versus the rest of the developed world. It had little scope to promote continual revolution in its neighboring countries. And so it adopted a policy of strengthening and ensuring the continuation of revolutionary society in the Soviet Union at the expense of global revolutionary aspirations. So why then is global revolution so important? Now, it would seem, given the circumstances, that the Soviet Union was right to protect its own interests primarily. It's important, though, because revolution isn't a national issue, it's a class issue. The dominant class in the modern world is that set up by economic relations. And so, in the capitalist-style economy that dominates the globe, you have the owners of production and business, financial markets, etc., who control the world. They influence governments and policy, and by extension control diplomacy, i.e., who's at war. As such, the world economic elites were never going to allow a self-described communist society like the Soviet Union the chance to expand their reach into capitalist countries, or more importantly, exist forever. And so, over the years that followed World War II, also known as the Cold War, much was done by capitalist countries to undermine the stability of the Soviet Union. And soon it collapsed. And then Russia was consumed by the free market. The theory of permanent revolution could be argued in this case. If you do not actively seek revolution globally, the dominant class in the world, in this case being the capitalist world order, will eventually break you down and consume you. Che Guevara was a massive advocate for global revolution. After he helped Fidel Castro and the Cubans in their revolution and establishing their revolutionary society, he looked to promote revolution across the globe. He went to Africa, and he also attempted to start revolutions in a number of South American countries. He believed the only way to truly combat global imperialism was to spread revolutions throughout the Third World, in Africa, Asia, and South America. He died trying to achieve this goal, but he believed strongly in the idea that revolutionary societies in isolation will be compromised, if not destroyed. And worse still, all the revolutionary gains of the modern world will be lost and maybe never again achievable. The important takeaway from all of this, I believe, is to understand that revolution is not a local matter. It's not about changing your country. It's a cultural thing. It's about changing the way in which people view power and how wealth is used to keep some people at the top at the expense of a majority of people. When people truly accept this and are fed up with it, then we can change the entire planet. Then we will be in a state of permanent revolution. Now, if you thought this was interesting, give it a like, and leave a comment, and share. And subscribe for more. There is much to learn before we can unlock the revolution. Remember, I am, you are, we are a mystery.